Alrighty, the IS3. Much maligned IS3 by me, because I've been playing the WZ-110 and I just did a YouTube video which said, at the end of it, I listened to myself back. Narcissism, I don't know. Why do you have an IS3 in your garage? So I thought, well, before you just go all medieval on the IS3 and revisit it, because the IS3 was a tank I played back in the day. I mean, way back in the day, and I was okay in it. It used to have the reputation of being the sort of noob-proof tank, and, you know, to an extent, if you look at relative win rates at Tier 8, yeah, it is. So I started playing the tank again, and actually, I do think WZ-110 is a better tank. I mean, overall. Pound for pound, looking at skill base, it's an easier tank to play, I think. I really do. I think it's a better tank. It's the next generation of wargaming's incorporation of tanks into the game. That's the best way of putting it. But for all of that, I found the IS3 to be a very, very effective tank. Far more effective than just driving your gold noob Action X tank down the middle of a map, in fact, and relying on RNG and Starlin not to guide the shell through the top of the turret. Actually, I've never come across one of these before with fully loaded gold camo and this, that and the other, and he's shooting me and I'm just having a laugh because the BL9 is going to chew through that in no time. No time at all. I think it's the second game I played in the tank and I was just like, yeah. When I say second game, I mean kind of like second game in latest incarnation. I think I've got about 200-300 games in it, so I know how to play it. It's fine. Now, at the beginning, usually exemptions apply. You really do need to get the gun lane drive in the tank and anything you can do to improve the gun, because it's a derpy, nasty gun. But for all of that, boy does it lay down some damage, and effectively, very much like driving a KV2, you just need to have a little bit of patience. A little bit of patience with the radical. A little bit of patience and you'll be just apples. I'm showing this game because it shows you the pike nose on the tank. Same playstyle as the WZ-110. I mean, effectively point the tank at the enemy, and I'm saying to Lurva there, like, leave it, dude, there's a waffle at the back. Now watch this shot. You can hit them. That's my point. You can hit them. You just got to be well careful with the radical and just aim, and you got to expose yourself. But if you know the reload cycles of Tier 8 tanks, and I've been basically playing reload cycles all game, like what's the reload cycle on IS5, what's the waffle got in the barrel, have I got time to expose myself and aim, take the shot, put it in, get it done. Yeah, so if you know the reload cycles, that kind of helps as well, because you can put down some nasty alpha in this tank. So situationally, you're going to be fine if you're sort of measuring the reload times on the opposition tanks. You're poking, you're putting in your damage, you're side scraping, you're doing your stuff. You're going to be fine. You're absolutely going to be fine. The trouble with the IS3 is not the reload cycle, it's actually the aim time. It's the amount of time you need to expose yourself to take a shot. In a lot of ways that's irrelevant, because if you think about it, the tank is absolutely frontline. I mean, it's a frontline bully of a tank. I mean, that's a first, and in all honesty, 2.7k for absolutely nothing at all. Second game, I guess you could say, it is like the marquee game in the tank. I stuck 3 games on, the third game's on there, just for M27, because he was saying I must have been a mind reader about Tier 8 and just, you know, lack of pushing it. So I thought, right, I'll rather tier 1 to 7 actually, but I was just like, right, now I'll stick a tier 8 game on, which just shows that same thing in IS3. But anyway, supremacy game in IS3, one of the main characteristics of the tank is that it's actually pretty damn quick, and I love the fact, a bit like in IS5, it's low profile. If you're driving Lurv or something like that, it sticks up, it's very visible. It's tough, don't get me wrong, but it's as big as a house. The IS3 is sort of like a little sleek-sided little puppy. It kind of moves like an absolute dream. It'd get under ridges and burrs, not much can hit you. And if it does, to be honest, the spaced armour on the side does absorb a lot of punishment. On this game I've gone heavy route. If you notice, in the first game we played heavy route, but I've just sort of skirted round, and the sort of game's going to unfold in front of me. And having played this tank quite a few times this review, probably 15 odd games, you can see me immediately angle. It immediately start to look at the ridge to hide the bottom plate, a bit like WZ-110, but immediately also look at pointing the pike face on at what I'm looking at. And if people want to come out sideways and they want to use their auto reloading cheating tanks to do whatever the hell they like, that's fine. But if you look at the bounces coming in off of that, yeah, I've absorbed some, but effectively we'll hold down, we're facing front on, and every time we whack something we're going to do it for 400. IS3, don't know why he's pushed there, he's tunnelling on down. Well, no worries, I'm going to try and keep the P43 in the game. Honestly don't think it's savable, but basically it's free damage from this position into the IS. Good off! Good night. And we're tanks down here, but actually the situation is good. There's nothing to the right of me, there's nothing pushing middle. There's an FL10 down there. He shouldn't be down there. It doesn't matter how much Pramo he wants to spank, it's not going to get him out of this. This is a one shot to an IS3. That's all good. I've resisted the temptation to YOLO the heavy tank down the middle there. We've got a T-34 going on, we've got all sorts of fun stuff. Charioteer's not showing himself, but for all of that I'm going to get a free shot into the T-34. Good tough! Stalin did not guide the shell. Don't know how that bounced, but whatevs. But we're going to have a look at the backside of this T-34. He quite rightly buggers off because he's being hunted by an IS3. Yeah, no worries, 401 NTU. Now where could the Charioteer be? In all of God's clean earth, where could it be? Ah! A full health Charioteer. Okay, so you can have a low roll into the side. I'm hoping the T-32 will turn and at least look behind him, but nah. So I'm going to point the pike at the Charioteer, just going to point it at him, and I look for my bounces. Come on, bounce, bounce. No, okay, nasty roll, nasty tank, whatever. One more for him, and then we're just going to go into a face hug. And we can tap him out from here. He's got a decent reload, but you're pointing the pike straight at him, it's not going to happen. T-34 has finally turned, but or T-32, whatever it is, has finally turned, but geez, he's not going to be much help to man nor beast. I'll switch up to Pramo to look at the T-34. I take one in the Scheissenhausen from the SP1C, but I clear T-32, and then basically all I need to do is to turn around, load AP, and wait for Stalin to guide the shell. And you know, the camo on the SP1C is freaking excellent, but look at his direction of travel. Da, 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 da. Good night, sweet prince. Stalin, I thank you. The world, I thank you. The IS3 has been the boss that it can be on the battlefield in that game. I mean, nasty tank. The final game I'm going to put on is literally just for I would usually say the S word, but you know, this is a kids program, so I'm going to say laughs and giggles, but you know what I mean. I actually mean shits and giggles. It's basically Port Bay, and Port Bay, if you watch my previous video, as I marvelled at the lack of dynamic gameplay driving SP1C with Commander Smith, is even more hysterical in this game. It's just like bonkers hysterical. So most of you who play this map will realise that if you're driving a low slung, rock hard Russian tank, any heavy tank, anything that isn't as big as a house, even if it is as big as a house, not cheery, you know what I mean. There's spots on this map that you need to push. Now if the team is not pushed down into town, which you can do with a heavy tank, the spot you need to take on this map is not sitting back here like a noob in your heavy tank. It is like literally cheeky shot if you can with your BL9. Yeah, never happening. Down here. Seriously, down here. Worst that's going to happen is you're going to get shot by a CDC in the side, but I mean, oh, ouch. Look at this. Hello, SEO. Has this been on sale in the shop, by the way, recently? Because there's loads of these on the battlefield being really badly driven. What the chuff is going on with that tank? Oh look, CDC. That'll be a nothing position at the back. Absolutely nothing position, even in a TD. But that's fine, and I'm just going to sit here, and this is hysterical. I'm just going to sit here, hold down, point the pike at the enemy, boys and girls. Just point it at them. You don't need to have the gun over the drive wheel, nothing. Point the front of the tank at the enemy. You'll be absolutely apples. And this is why I guess the tank was called basically noob proof, because if you drive at the enemy front on with absolutely no skill and no angling, like, it will do this sort of crap for you. It's flaming incredible. I mean, the turret's right hard and circular, and this Pantera's just going to sit there, and I'm just like, yeah, well, thanks, bud. Thanks for your hit points. And you look at the game from here, and I'm just kind of like, right, yeah. I was thinking about going round. I'm just like, yeah, well, I could go down there, or I could go around here. Nah, I'm just going to drive through the middle of this flaming hill, turn left, and I bet you, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've seen this game before, I recorded it, but I bet you there'll be stuff side on straight down here. I mean, like, sure as eggs is eggs, apples is apples, there'll be something nice and tasty for a BL9 gun. Just say it. Yeah, good night. And that's kind of the IS3. I mean, you've got to drive it aggressively. I recommend that you do everything you can to improve the accuracy on the gun. I personally prefer the improved construction. I just put extra health points on the tank. I don't really care too much about enhancing the armour. People want to fire Pramo, they're going to fire Pramo. If they're not, the tank's tough enough. Stick the extra hit points on, because it's a brawling little monster. End of the game. What would my conclusion be? IS3 or WZ-110 in my garage? WZ-110 every day of the week, but this tank is still glorious. It's still free, boys and girls. A lot cheaper than Action X. Just go play it and have a laugh. Tier 8's great at the moment. See ya.